So it's Monday of my last week here. I'm kind of sad about that. I wish I had a little more time. But then again, last night I found out that my net balance is negative $166 right now. So I might not pay off those credit cards right away. Here's what I've been doing. I went with Young and Madison to a museum on Parisian nightlife, and this was the coolest part about it. This is the ceiling, I guess, from above. It's a bunch of strips of metal draped across the gap, and they're all hanging together, and it looks pretty cool. The next day, our group went to Palais Garnier, which is this big fancy opera house in Paris. Hi, Serena. Hi, Kim! Here it is on the outside. It's a very pretty building. And here it is on the inside. This is just the waiting area. And we were waiting for our tour guide, but people waited here before operas back in the day. This is the main entryway, and so ornate and so pretty, but, you know, after Versailles and so many other buildings that I've been amazed by, then it's just like, okay, here's another one. Some people told me they loved this tour, but this just did not do it for me. These are the boxes where, interestingly, the women sat because their dresses were too big to sit down in the aisles where we were. This is the ceiling by some Russian artist, and yeah, this is about 1 minute before I fell asleep, and she called me out. Yeah, I fell asleep in my chair as she was talking. I just felt my eyes going down. I'm like, no, don't do it. Don't fall asleep. Don't do it. And then I hear something faintly. I don't even know what she said, but I knew she was talking to me, and I opened my eyes, and she was like, I'm sorry, you must be jet lagged. And I was like, yeah, I've been here for 3.5 weeks, but we'll go with that. Then here's the ballroom they had there. It's kind of modeled after the Hall of Mirrors at Versailles. Boring. That night I met Brianna and her friends at a park right by the Louvre. There were a bunch of locals sitting around on the grass and drinking, and I had a great time. Here's a little clip. So the next day, our group went to the Pasteur Institute to tour that, and Serena's obsessed with her phone. She thinks everyone's going to break it, and she doesn't like being recorded. Young and Madison, the usual. So this is Pasteur's lab that was in his own house. He discovered so many things, I won't even get into it. Look it up, it's kind of mind-blowing. This is another room in his house. I love the really 19th century kind of feel to it. So the tour guide told us that Pasteur was a very talented artist at a young age. He painted this portrait of his mother at 13 years old. He was very gifted, and this one of his father. They thought he was potentially going to be an artist, but at around age, I think they said like 15 or something, he just became addicted to working. And he has some unintentionally funny quotes that I forgot about loving work way too much. Up here on the left is his desk. So for proving germ theory correct and developing vaccines for cholera and rabies and anthrax, he got all these medals from all these countries. So this is his crypt, and I have to say it's the least depressing crypt I've ever seen. It's pretty cool, actually. There's a list of his accomplishments on that wall and the one opposite that. So back there and all around there are scenes depicting what he did. For example, this one depicts him curing rabies. And then more of this. Then afterwards, me, Madison, Young, and Maria went to the Musee Rodin. I went back there for a second time because I love it. It was nice this time. Not so sunny, not so hot. They had a good time as well. There are some nice fountains around the garden. As I stood next to this piece and examined it up close, I noticed again that Rodin's art is so dramatic. Every contour is exaggerated. And at this point I wondered what Leonardo da Vinci would have thought of Rodin's art with all his studies in anatomy. Would he respect it, or would he think it's incorrect? So that night I went to this Belgian bar that has Trappist beers. It's called Au Trappiste, and had some really good bars. And then I take this video walking home. I'm like, oh my god, it's so cool in Paris because I can drink like Belgian beers, and this is the view when I go home. And there's a conciergerie, and I think I said Notre Dame was like the wrong direction. I'm like, oh, it's so cool. And I thought this was a good shot, and it's all shaky. Good job, Brian. I'm like, oh, there's Notre Dame. Yeah, it was fun though. Just shut up, drunk Brian. Yeah, I was doing that walk because I missed the last metro, so I had to walk back to the hotel like 1.7 miles or something from Chatelet to Place d'Italie. But it was nice to do once. Then I got back and hung out with Kat, Chloe, and Leslie for a while.
So I guess I said it wrong tonight. And I was like, avez-vous des cigarettes? And he's like, Marlboro. And I was like, combien? Because I don't know how to... I know it's not like how to say how much, but I'm like, combien? And he got
Combien
de? Oh, okay. Well, I missed that word. Yeah, I know. I knew that. I was just testing you, Chloe.
Chloe's great.
And he's like, wheat. And I was like, oh, shit. And I thought I had cash. I don't have any cash. I spent all my cash.
Wait, he charged you $8,
I know.
8 euros for
Yeah,
a cigarette?
which is so bad.
So bad.
And I looked in my pocket. I only have 7 in coins, and I was like,
Sit.
Yeah, sit. Chloe's on it, and he's like, and I was like, Visa, and he's like, 10. There's this sign that says 10. And I looked around for stupid things to buy, and there's like a way overpriced little flask of Jack Daniels, and I was like, fuck it, I'm leaving. And I was like, merci, bonsoir, bonsoir.
Can you look at the camera and say that again?
Bonsoir.
Then the next morning I went to Belgium with Will, but that's going to be in my next video. So hopefully that'll be up soon. Maybe tomorrow? I don't know. And as always, thanks for watching. And Mom, I don't normally smoke cigarettes. I was just drunk in Paris. It only happened once. And not even that night. I didn't get any that night.